You are listening to the BlahCade Pinball Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Freebus, aka Shut Your Trap. Joining me as always, halfway across the world, Jared Morgan.
Well, hi there, everybody. How
M-
y'all going?
My God, we actually got this thing to work.
It's working. It is actually working, and we will go into the reasons why, won't we? Because it turns out that if you're doing stuff with OBS, you both need to be using the same version of Skype, which happens to be the creator version of Skype.
Yeah, I discovered that
That,
the creator version works so much better than the Windows Store version.
yeah, well, yes, and it was only it was thanks to Chris actually, because we were talking about it, working through it. He goes, "Oh yeah, I'm using the creator version," and I went, "Oh, I'll just use the version from the Windows 10 store," and it was like, oh, and we both went, oh.
Yeah. After bashing our heads against the wall for days on end, going, why doesn't this work? It worked the other week when we tested it, and Jared, ripping apart his router and
Yeah, I literally restarted everything. It was just like I'm restarting the internet. It got to that point. When you restart the internet, you know that things are getting serious.
yeah. So eventually, I was just like, here's a thought, Jared. Why don't you try deleting whatever version of Skype came preloaded? Google search the Skype for creators and use that, and ta-da!
And it works really well. As you can see, I've got the blurred background if you're watching the video, and it's like, I'm getting my little preview window in the top here. Everything's working real nice. And the thing that was preventing me doing it before is at the moment I'm monitoring the live chat. So if there's anyone watching live, it's me talking back to you in the live chat. If I was switching between windows, the whole session would lock up, and it was just a pile of rubbish. So yeah, I'm very glad that we got to the bottom of it, because it means that number one, I can say, okay, Skype's not as bad as I really thought, because surely, like, it had been a number of years since I used Skype, and I was going, surely they should have fixed a lot of the stuff that originally was causing all the problems with it. And if they have, you just don't use the Windows 10 version because it's rubbish.
And so basically, now we just need to communicate with like Mel whenever he next time we have him on.
So
Mel,
yeah, creator version or nothing.
creator version. Otherwise, it's not
It's
going to
actually
work.
better. Like the thing that's different, and if you'll probably never notice this as a user of Skype unless you notice it because you have to, is that the Windows 10 version has the sort of Metro style menus that are common in all of the Windows apps, but the Skype creators version has the old style sort of gray with thin text menus that you see in a lot of the apps. So there's something has gone awry when they've actually gone and converted this into a Windows 10 proper app,
Yeah,
or it's running
it's
behind
called
the version.
Microsoft piling all their gack on top
Junk
of
in it.
exactly.
And for the record, it wasn't actually bundled with the computer, because my computer didn't come bundled with anything. It wasn't a Surface Book or anything, so you don't get a lot of the Microsoft included apps. I had to install this deliberately from the store initially when I got it.
Oh,
So,
because when I installed Windows 10, it was one of the apps that was pre-installed. And when I
mm,
started with it, mine was a custom built computer. So it was the
mm,
second that I installed Windows 10, that just happened to be one of the apps that was in there. It's kind of like how you got the what was that, Microsoft Edge, which I pretty much deleted as soon as I got Chrome
yeah,
installed.
as everybody does. It's like, oh, okay, that's nice. So Microsoft Edge is just a bootloader for Chrome. That's all it is.
You use it that one time to get Chrome, and then
Yeah,
that's the
and it
last time.
really the funny thing about that, we're going off topic here, but you should be used to that by now, folks. But the thing about Edge is that they really try and get you to keep with and go. You know what? It's so much faster on Windows 10. It's power efficient. You'll get so much more battery life out of it. And I thought, you know what? I'll take the challenge. I'll actually use Microsoft Edge for as long as I possibly can until I hit something that stops me from actually using Edge. Have a guess how long it took until I hit something that stopped me from doing stuff that I needed to do.
Oh, I'm gonna guess within 10 minutes.
No, it was longer than that. It was nearly 6 hours.
Wow.
Nearly 6 hours. It got to the point where I was trying to use Edge at work, and I had this little pop-up modal thing that I needed to copy text from, and it would just select the entire modal's text, not just the text I wanted to copy, but the entire modal's text I need to copy and paste. And I went, that's it. I found it. That's the thing that's going to stop me from using this browser. It's dead. But the thing is, now you've got to realize too that Microsoft have given up basically, and they're using a Chromium build now to do Windows Edge browser. So they've actually switched to Chromium as the back end for their browser. So you're kind of going to be using Chrome anyhow.
It's kind of funny. A good friend of mine. We're on different political spectrums, but we're really good friends, and so he likes to call up and have these conversations sometimes that I just kind of go, "Oh God, we have to have one of these again," and he was going off on a rant about how, or not a rant, but I guess Google had gotten in trouble because they were filtering Google searches from right-wing party platforms, not in the same manner that they filter left-wing, and it was basically making it tougher to do searches for conservative topics than if you were looking for liberal topics, and there's these behind-the-scenes emails and things of that nature that were coming out, and ooh, doesn't the Google look bad? And I just went, well, so use Bing.
With DuckDuckGo.
I'm like, if you really don't like Google, just go use Bing. You got a choice. Come on, use it. And it was like, but no.
Oh, I don't know about that. That's taking a bit too far.
you can't. No. That's just mean. No, that's not right either. So I had to kind of laugh at that nature of things. So anyway, yay, we're up and running. Go figure. And,
all right.
So
let's put it to good use, because we got some stuff to talk about this
week, because we've
not done it for a couple of weeks, and we got a backlog of items.
Yes, and folks, I'll preface this also. If I have a coughing fit, I've had the flu all week, which I haven't had this kind of illness since I was a little kid, where you're just running a fever for days on end and no reason why. But I'm mostly better.
That's good.
Yeah, I'm choosing to pretend like I'm 100%, and hopefully the cough doesn't interrupt. But if it does, I unfortunately have not figured out how to do the mute button yet on OBS.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah. That's all right. We'll deal with it.
Yeah. Oh, and you'll also notice, so Jared's got the cool blurred out background, and I don't, because OBS doesn't do that. You have to do a third-party app.
Oh, right. Okay. There you go.
Yeah. So, hey,
you get this. That's right. You got cool stuff in your background. You got the pin cab, and you got a shelf with bits and pieces on it.
Yeah, I've got a little Ms. Pac-Man cabinet up there, and right there. Yeah, Bob and Doug McKenzie from the Great White North. Yeah, so
I'm going to fix it. I've got some posters that are coming up for the Brisbane Pinball Festival at the exhibition, and I'm going to get those laminated and put them in shot where the boxes and stuff are that are blurred out at the moment. So you'll get some pinball-related decorations in the feed in the coming weeks.
All right. Well, why don't we jump right into things, and let's talk about my favorite topic as of late, the Williams Pinball app. There's been some tweaks and changes. And lo and behold, they're for the better.
They're actually improvements.
They're actual improvement. Yeah, folks, Zen listens and actually does things. I know it's weird. You might have these rose-colored glasses on about all the wonderful things that Farsight did with the Pinball Arcade and how quick they were to fix things. Let's start with it. So I had posted a tweet that it was like, hey, you created this timed event with the Volume 4 release that was really fantastic because it let you collect up to level 2, enough parts to upgrade to level 2 for all 3 of the new tables, and within a week. I mean, that was fantastic. But then it's like, wait, are we going to just have that little stopwatch symbol sit there until the next volume? No, don't do that, for God's sakes. No, there's so much cool that you can do with it. And one of the suggestions that I had was, if there's a special event that runs a few days, make it so that you earn a buttload of parts or tickets or coins or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, something that makes it so that you want to, along with everybody else, jump in and play on the app right then and there. And so, what do you know? They did it for, here in the States, July 4th. That's the day we blow up lots of,
Independence.
yes, we blow up lots of things in the air. And so
Aliens. Yeah.
aliens, yes. Well, in that movie, they blew us up, but there you go. So they put Attack from Mars for basically 4 days of play. Actually, excuse me, I think it was 6 days of play. But 2 challenges each day, and you were earning I think I earned 16 coins in one day, and I don't know how many tickets. Over the course of, it was 4 days. Over the course of 4 days, I basically hauled in 60 coins. Which,
Wow.
yeah, I mean, that's not too shabby, considering it normally you would earn a max of 3 coins per day for playing all 4 challenges in one cycle.
That's a good haul in that case.
Yeah. And I have some other suggestions of fun things that they could do, with whether they did the pin golf. I think we mentioned it last time, some other ideas. But anyway,
Yeah, we did.
Zen clearly listened, or was thinking on the same page.
And we just sort of like vocalized what they were thinking.
Yes, I'm going to pretend that it was all us, though. And why wouldn't I, right? The other thing that they instituted, and I think this actually happened a while, but I was finally able to confirm it for myself since I was now back to collecting parts. There is a hard cap on parts once again. So once you reach the 170 parts needed for any given table, you will stop earning those parts and only earn for whatever is remaining. Now, I can't confirm if this was a change or not, but I found with my own experience, all my tables were, like, if one table started getting a lot of parts, within the next day or two, the other 2 tables would kind of catch up. So there's kind of a slingshot effect happening. So that was kind of nice too, in terms of a balanced approach to getting your tables all leveled.
Yeah.
And once you have those tables leveled, regardless of if you do the upgrade or not, you start earning coins instead of parts.
Nice.
Right. So again, that helps. Basically, I kind of did the math, and I know this sounds insane to some people, but if you played the 3 challenges, ignore the premium that you have to pay 200 coins for. If you just played the basic, advanced, and pro challenge once per day, so that's 9 times of playing in the course of a day, and defeating all of those challenges, if you did that for 4 months, even if you were a noob, starting out brand new, after 4 months of doing that 7 days a week, that's the part that people gotta go, oh God.
It's a full-time job
yes.
with no breaks.
But seriously, you're basically going to be playing for about an hour a day doing that. You will upgrade all your tables fully without ever spending a single
cent.
Yeah. Now, if you got a little more aggressive and did then paid the 5 tickets to, or excuse me, the 20 and 30 tickets to recycle the basic and advanced challenge, and recycled them twice. Played it, recycled it again, played it. So basically, playing those 3 times a day. By within 30 to 40 days, you'll have everything.
Okay. That's
for free.
That's pretty good. That's fast.
Yeah. I mean, and the problem is people get this feeling that they're not moving anywhere, and that's because the curve is really flat for a while. But once you start collecting things, it just skyrockets. And
that's really true, because as an aside, that I could corroborate that for sure, because I'm playing a completely different game at the moment where I had exactly that same feeling. And now this is a game that I played before heaps of mobile, and it's Skyforce, right? But I got it on Steam because it was a Steam summer sale, right? And it was cheap. Like, I got both games for $8. Like, and I went, oh, well, shut up and take my money. This is awesome.
Yeah.
So, you start off with the very underpowered ship. It's basically like this little pew, pew, pew things shooting out the front of it. You basically can't shoot anything.
It's like the old days of Space Invaders, where you could only fire one shot until it hit the target and then you could fire another shot?
No, it
Oh,
will give you a continuous stream of shots, but
okay.
it's like a pea shooter, really, when you first start, particularly if you've come from like the mobile game where you've maxed out everything and then you go back to like just nothing.
Oh yeah, that's
So,
painful.
and of course, mobile Steam, there's no way you're going to like synchronize those changes
No.
over. So you got to start from scratch. But there's actually something fun about that. Um, Anyhow, you start off with the pea shooter, and of course, it still has a stars mechanic where you use the stars to actually upgrade your ship over time. And it rains stars in this game. It's very generous. So, you start off with a pea shooter, and then you slowly upgrade your main weapon. Then you slowly get access to like the other weapons, like the wing weapons and the missiles and stuff like that. You start to get a little bit more, and then when you get up to the insane levels where you're getting like a 3 times star multiplier, it's raining stars. And you start to just upgrade things really, really, really quickly. But it's that initial ramp up where you go, wow, this is like chopping wood. And it's a bit like that in the app, isn't it? Like,
It's totally like that. I mean, when I first started collecting parts for Hurricane and Roadshow and Whitewater, look, that first 1-star upgrade, it only takes 5 parts. Boom, all of a sudden you're into getting ready to collect for your next one. It takes a little longer to get up to 2 stars. And then suddenly you're faced with, oh man, now I need 50 parts in order to get to the 3-star. And they just seem to come so slow. And as you're getting, like I said, because the target just seems so far away. But once you start getting close to the target, then all of a sudden it seems like they're clicking up again. This is where my tracking the data daily and seeing that the numbers were consistent and being able to actually go, hey, by this date I'll have it done. It gave me the light at the end of the tunnel, if you will.
yeah, and that's what you need when you're playing like a freemium title. You don't know if you're new to it where it's going to end, really. And in some cases, there are games where it literally never ends. And you've played those games as well, and we've
Yeah.
covered those in podcasts past. And there's a certain type of person that doesn't mind about that, but there's some people go, oh no, I'm giving up because I don't know the end goal here. It's like an infinite sort of play. Like Candy Crush is a classic example of that. They just keep adding levels. There is no finish.
Yeah, that's pretty much
You
why
know,
I stopped playing Candy
yeah.
Crush, because it was like, I can't catch up. No, I'm done. That's just stupid. And I knew somebody that actually was obsessed with it and caught up with it to where
Oh,
they were.
really?
Yeah, they actually caught up and were waiting
To
on
the
levels to drop.
8,000 levels.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And I was like, how often do you play? And they were like, oh, it's just nonstop.
My life. It's my life. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Other things, other fixes that Zen has been working on with the app. One of the problems that people were complaining about was if you accidentally purchase 5,000 coins, or not 5,000 coins, but
That's not an accidental push.
upgrade the table. With 250 coins, upgrade the table to 2 stars. If you accidentally pushed it, it immediately extracted the 250 coins if you had them. There was no, are you sure you want to do this screen.
Oh, that's no good.
And so a couple of people have had that happen. They had to contact Zen, said, hey, I didn't really mean to push that, and now I'm penalized, and Zen was kind enough to refund them. But Zen also has now stated that they're working on adding that one little so
button.
important, yeah, the human error button of the, are you really sure that you wanted to do that?
Because it's mobile. Like it's so easy to botch get your fat finger out and whack a button you didn't mean to whack, or pretend you were like wanting to scroll the list and then accidentally tap the button. I could do it all the time.
Or you're thinking, oh, if I tap this, it'll tell me what it's going to give me, because there's no hover to for it to there's no hover the mouse over it kind of thing.
It's essentially a menu, not a purchase sort of thing.
Right. So they're doing that, and then also one of the similar things, like I said, it was upgrade the table to 2 stars for 250 coins. Well, the problem was even if you had already upgraded the table to 2 stars, that option was still there. And so people were like, well, is that upgrading me? Is that giving me the other 2 stars to now upgrade me to 4? And so that was causing confusion. So Zen now is going to... Basically, they need to write the code in, and I think they already did this one. This one might have already been implicated. Where, again, much like the parts caps, it recognizes what you've already achieved, and therefore eliminates menu options based off of that.
That's good. So they're essentially reading what you've got, and that's how it should be too.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
everything should be conditional, basically.
yeah.
Yeah, very nice, very
So
nice. That's
anyway,
excellent.
just wanted to highlight those fixes that are going on with the Williams app, and for those of you that really really are angry that you can't purchase the tables outright, well, do me a favor and go ahead and just read my thread uh, about data collection and how you too can get these tables for free, and then you can spend
Just by playing it.
right, and then you can send the $10 that you were planning on spending on Zen to us via PayPal, and we'll just be appreciative of that.
Yeah, that's right. They just redirect your funds. Like, don't give it to Zen. Oh no, do give it to Zen because they're nice people. But if you're gonna just take our advice, and throw us a Benjamin or two.
Okay, let's move on to another topic that I saw. This whole episode is just questions. So there was a thread that was basically asking, hey, is repurchasing the Zen Williams tables really worth it compared to if you already have them in TPA? And my answer is a resounding yes, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's like duh, but no, but I mean, you may not think that based off of whatever platform you currently have.
That's true. I mean, if you're a mobile player, you'll have a very different opinion about what these tables are actually playing like compared to if you're a Steam player.
Precisely. So here's my advice. If you're a Steam player, just download FX3. It's free. The platform is. And guess what? Within the Williams app, you get Fishtails for free. And
free.
Yeah. And you can go ahead and try out the new physics.
The pro physics.
The pro physics. They're labeled under, there's single player, and then there's classic single player. You want to play classic single player, select arcade mode, and play that. As soon as you're done playing that, then go ahead and load up the TPA version. And if the visuals,
if you can deign to.
If the visuals alone don't convince you, then the physics will for sure convince you that it's totally worth repurchasing. So that's if you're a Steam player. I believe, I mean, the same thing is for PlayStation 4 and for Xbox One and for the Switch. Those are all, Fishtails is free on all of them. So,
yeah, well, it is, as Mel said, his dream, because he loves Fishtails and he loves the fact that everyone gets it for free.
Now, I should say, on the Switch, well, there is no repurchasing because unless you were one of those people that bought it for the 6 hours that it was up on the store, you never were able to get these.
You can't experience the the Pinball Arcade version of it.
No. Yeah. No. And then you also won't have to deal with the fact that for some reason, Pinball Arcade makes you flip the switch the exact opposite direction of every other app when you go into portrait mode.
Reverse portrait, lovely.
Yeah.
Not.
So there's that.
I saw they're actually doing a Switch Lite. They've got a Switch Lite out now that has no removable controllers and no docking capabilities. It's essentially like a PSP, and it's got all the controls and everything built in.
So in other words, it's basically going to be replacing their 3DS.
Oh, maybe, or complementary too. I think I read an article on it which was really well put, and it's the fact that they can see that there's some hardcore, Switch users that love the fact they can plug it into the TV and love the fact they can use like Nintendo Labo and stuff like that. But there's a lot of people out there that just want portability and don't want to have to carry a bag just to carry all the junk in it that they need to play.
Right, they're using it purely as a mobile gaming platform.
That's right. Yeah. And, it still has it. I think they've given it a slight processor bump and a couple of other minor fixes. Maybe I think they might have actually slightly increased the battery, or perhaps by putting the better system on a chip in, they've slightly improved the battery life, because that was a big problem with the Switch. You didn't get a lot of mobile gameplay out of it, because really it lasted for about 3 hours, I think, maximum.
Yeah, that sounds about right. My son plays predominantly in the mobile manner, and is
Yeah,
constantly
yeah.
then throwing it back on the dock to charge it.
It's funny, because it uses the same processor that I had in my Shield tablet, which is an absolute beast. My Android tablet, which is a Tegra K1, and it had the same problem. It just gobbled the battery because it was like a PC grade processor,
Yeah.
and it needs it. Like the Switch has got an amazing graphics pipeline on it, and it needs that power to actually do it. But it's actually aging quite a bit now, like the Tegra chipset. So I think like a refresh, like a big refresh of the Switch is probably well overdue. I think. But yeah, anyhow, that's an aside. I just thought that's really cool that they actually have a lower price entry level model, because there's lots of good stuff on the Switch. There's surprisingly a large amount of shoot 'em ups and a lot of good pinball games coming in there now. So yeah,
Yeah. Tangents, a specialty of our podcast.
we do it, and we do it well. Yeah.
So, those of you that are, though, yeah, purely in the tablet world, if you're only playing games on Android or iOS, the decision of is it worth it becomes a little trickier, except for, again, when you look at the graphics alone, and Fishtails is not quite as obvious as some of the other tables, but Pinball Arcade did this weird thing, depending on what year it was and when they were doing, how much of the screen the pinball table itself would fill. A lot of times there's a lot of real estate up at the top,
There is.
to the sides. Whereas Zen's does a really good job of filling up everything. Some
does.
of the, like, if you look at Party Zone, I think, the flippers look like they're practically, like, not 90 degrees straight down, but more like 70 degrees. They're really steeply down, and it messes with your head in terms of how you want to shoot. I think that's also one, or there was a different one that I was kind of sampling between, where the table almost had like a fisheye curve, going for it. But then I would look at other tables, and they were nicely filling out everything to the sides, but they're like, you look at Roadshow, there was one where it filled nicely to the sides, but they lowered the whole screen and then they put the DMD up there, and so there's actually less real estate for what you're seeing as opposed to what Zen has done.
Yeah.
Now that's going to be tricky to compare if you don't have access to the tables to play because you're brand new to the game and trying to mess with it. But in the long run, there's no comparison. I'm planning on
really isn't.
I'm planning on doing a side-by-side comparison video, just to kind of show what the difference is. And this is playing with just the standard Zen physics. And at first, you might not think that the standard Zen physics are really that much of an improvement. Yeah, but you can visually see the difference in what happens with the ball. And one of the main things that drove me nuts as I was switching between the two is the ball is next to impossible to see in the Pinball Arcade version on mobile.
Oh yeah, it's got no shadow, it's got no definition. It's just this thing floating around the playfield.
Well, not only that, but their playfields are so bright, and the ball is so silver. It just, unless you're playing with the glow ball, good luck. It just plain disappears on you. You're like, whoa, where'd it go?
And I was for a long time on all tables. When the glow ball came in, I was definitely playing with that because it was weird because, again, the glow ball changed the illusion of the ball's size a bit as well, and which made it hard to play and hard to line up shots. But, geez, you could at least track it. It was essentially like having ball trails.
Well, and that's the other thing. Depending on what color the playfield is, sometimes the ball looks like it's the proper size, and other times the ball looks like it's way too small because the shadowing of the ball is blending into the playfield. And so all you're seeing is the highlights. The highlights are obviously smaller. A perfect example is if you play the Victory table, and this even is a problem on the Steam version of the game. If you play Victory, you're going to sit there and go, what's wrong with the ball? Why does it look like I'm playing with a BB instead of a pinball?
It does have a very small feel to it. I remember playing that even on mobile, and it felt subtly strange.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's water under the bridge now, really. Like we don't know anything about what's happening with Pinball Arcade
Well,
or
and there's the
what they're doing.
there's the final thing. Oh, do you want to hold on to an app that pretty much is getting no support?
Yeah, it's
And
zero.
it's not going to get any more support, even though they stated that they would still be supporting the app. Clearly,
But
that's
those of us
more of
who
a.
have been with the platform for a long time know that that's just a flat out lie.
Well, they'll support it if the app up and crashes, and then they'll go and fix the crash and
Yeah.
make it function again.
And,
But
and
improving it,
enough
no.
people complain. That's the thing. That they
Yeah.
won't fix it if it crashes and no one complains.
Right.
So, yeah.
Or do you want to go with the version of the app where, as I said, it's being constantly updated and fixed as we speak?
Yep.
It's in
And
active. It's
has
in
a
active
very,
development.
very bright future. And
Yeah.
very bright future across all platforms.
Yeah.
Particularly mobile, actually. I think probably mobile is going to be the killer for Zen moving forward with its integration into its cabinets.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah.
That's going to be like the hook, basically.
Excuse me. Anyway, so that was just my little moment of let's address that. Yes, it's worth repurchasing. Especially right now they're on sale on the Switch and I can't remember what other console they're on sale for. Volumes 1, 2, and 3 I think are 50% off right now, and Volume 4 is 25% off.
So you compare that to the way Pinball Arcade ran discounts, and it was like, there was no way you would ever get a discount off the latest season.
No.
Within even a year of it releasing. Like, they were really tight with it. But
and then it would be 25% off max.
Yeah.
Like, I think the best sale that they were running was like 30% for a long time, and then all of a sudden Season 1 would be like, okay, we'll give Season 1 Pro half off.
Ugh. Yeah. Pro was basically half of it not working anyhow, so, far out. Anyhow, hey, look, I'm having a chat with friend of the show, Pinball Wiz, and he's asking, what about Volume 5? Not much.
What about it?
Happening there, eh? Yeah. What about it? Not much happening, right?
You
Not
tell
yet.
us.
Yeah.
I honestly don't expect Volume 5 to drop until mid-August. And the reason why I'm saying this mid-August, I think all the timescales have gotten shifted to line up with Zen releasing Star Wars on the Switch in September. So basically, you would have Volume 5 drop mid-August, mid-September. You'd get Star Wars on the Switch, which, believe me, Zen is going to be pushing the ever-living crap out of.
Jeez.
They're rather proud of the fact that they're going to be the first Star Wars title on the Switch, period.
Which is a big deal.
That is a big deal, yeah. So they're going to be putting a lot of promotion behind that. And then there's the rumored idea of us getting a license table finally from Williams in time for Halloween. Which then, so now we've really delayed Volume 6 beyond what it should have been. And so then I would say Volume 6 would drop sometime like late November, early December.
Yeah, I think that seems about right. I think they were, trying to get them out every 2 or so months. I think that's what Mel
had originally said every 6 to 8 weeks, but I think they're more towards the 8-week mark. And then it's also, as Mel says, game development happens.
Yeah, exactly. So, it will be variable.
Volume 4 would have come out earlier, except for Deep got the bright idea to, make the Philippa physics even better.
Yeah.
So
you hold a game back for that.
I don't think anybody's going to hold it against them for that reason. I actually don't mind the extended time with the tables, and I'll tell you why. So when we got Volume 4 and I played it in the beta, I was kind of just lackluster on it.
I felt the same.
I don't like Hurricane, and I really don't like Hurricane now, but I never liked Hurricane to begin with. And Whitewater was always one of those tables where I know it's a good table, but I've just never put the time in to figure it out.
Mm.
And Roadshow, hey, it's a Lawler, and I love Lawler, but it's also just one of those tables that you there's so much on it you never get to see because you never get beyond the Midwest, or not even the Midwest. You never. It, it's like if you can get to past New Orleans for a city,
You're doing pretty well.
yeah, I mean, my God, how many times has anybody ever actually reached the West Coast?
I think I did it once, and it was only because I was playing on Zen Physics, Classics Physics.
Right.
And it was it was touch and go. Like I used to do it all the time on Pinball Arcade, right? Like it used to be, oh yeah, I'm at California, oh, how'd that happen? Oh, so I was just flipping around.
Right.
But it's a battle to get to it on Zen. Like it's a real challenge, as it should be, right?
Right. So as I'm playing the daily challenges, though, I'm starting to see little nuances and doing little tricks, and I'm actually now much more appreciative of Whitewater and Roadshow because of the fact that there isn't another table just looming a mere few weeks away like it always was the case in Pinball Arcade.
That's right.
I mean, with Pinball Arcade, there's a reason why I know I played Gladiator a few times, but to me it was like, oh, it's just a Gottlieb. Nah.
It's another Gottlieb premiere. Yeah.
Right. And then I can't even tell you what the name of the skiing one is because I literally never touched it.
Wipeout. Yeah, Wipeout.
So, I mean, there you go. That's how disposable it was to me, where it was just like, yeah, I want the whole collection, but I'm not going to play this. I'll just wait for whatever.
I want to have them sitting on my shelf to look at.
Exactly.
But I don't really intend on touching any of the Gottliebs.
No.
Yeah.
So this release schedule is actually forcing me to spend more time with the tables, and then with the challenges. And again, this is why I love the challenges on mobile. Is it keeps on cycling in the older tables, right? So it's kind of that random button, but it's not making me random into a 3-ball game that's going to last 45 minutes.
Exactly. And that is the thing. It's well balanced.
Right. The most time I'm going to spend with the table is 5 minutes.
That's fine. And like the thing, that is the beautiful thing about those challenges on mobile. And, Steam has that option too. You got the 5-minute challenges, etc. They just give you that burst of pinball that you can just fit into your day, and you can just go, oh, I'm just going to do that now. And then, hey, I've done my pinball. If that's all you can do in a day, you can find 5 minutes. That's less than a coffee break,
Yeah.
And that's exactly what Zen want.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So anyway, there's that.
I've been, as an aside, and again, our trademark. Tangents. As an aside, I've been going through Steam a little bit, looking into good shoot-em-ups or shmups, as they're known. And I found a couple that had come on sale from my wish list, and one of them is called Star Mazer DSP, and it's a game that's produced with there's a indie game app that allows you to do what looks like retro games, and I think it's called Game Maker, and it sort of gives it that 8 or 16-bit aesthetic. So think of the 16-bit shoot 'em ups that were like pretty much seminal on platforms like the Genesis and the Super Nintendo or Super Famicom.
I'm trying to think of one. What did I play? R-Type?
Yeah, R-Type, that sort of thing. So this game is a sort of like in that vein, but it's what they call a roguelike shoot 'em up. So what that means is you've got what you do is you play through the first game, like it starts up just with like no power-ups whatsoever. You just play through until you die, and you get what they call score, SKORE. And score is essentially like your dollars in the game. So after you finish your first round, you go through and you essentially break open, you get to choose from one of 3 what almost looks like trading card packs. You rip open the trading card pack based on how much money you got or score you got in the game. And then you can buy your own fleet of pilots that have different weapons, different characteristics, and different sort of chance of staying alive if they get hit. So there's like this hit meter that scrolls back and forth like a radar. And if you get hit and the little indicator lands in a square that's highlighted, you'll actually stay alive and you won't die. But if you get the meter landing in a bit that's not highlighted, you'll just explode. So it gives you like this chance of survival if you get hit by bullets. It's a really interesting mechanic, and the game itself is just full of enemies. And it's got that classic mechanic too of shoot 'em ups where you've got things to collect in the game, which I love. You know, stars. Give me the stars. And this thing has got like these. They call them carbamite in the game, and it's essentially like these gems that power up your ship, but you can let them multiply and join together to like get massive scores in the game. So you basically sort of have to, the other mechanic is you have to not only shoot the enemies, but you have to sort of avoid these things that you're supposed to collect in the game, so to let them join together to make really, really big score combos. And it's just, there's something about that game mechanic that just really appeals to me. It's a great game. And it's in early access at the moment, so they're just updating it sort of pretty much every week or so. And yeah, it's fantastic. I would recommend it if you like shoot 'em ups.
You know how when I talk about movies, that you sometimes just kind of go, "I gotta trust you on that because I don't know."
Yeah.
Yeah. That was me. That was me just then.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm like, shmups.
Okay.
Again, last time I played one was like R-Type on the Genesis. That was years and years and years ago. So, okay,
No,
Jared, we trust you.
Yeah. Do yourself a favor and get that one. It's not that expensive on Steam, and it's worth every cent as far as I'm concerned.
Oh. Hey, let's talk about another question that got posed on the Digital Pinball Fans forum. This is by the user High Five. His thread is titled "Satisfied with price of digital pinballs? Willing to pay more or less?" And God, how often do we cover this topic, Jared? I mean,
well, you know what, Chris? I'd like to say for the fact that I'd prefer to play not $7 a table, but I'd prefer to pay at least $45 a table, right?
I'd
love to pay more.
We have covered something of this nature at least 2 or 3 other times in the podcast, but hey, it pops up now and then. People, I think they get anxious at, when are we going to get one of the good license tables? It's got to be a money thing, and they start worrying about the finances of the game studio, and it's like, why are you worried about your own finances and paying for the game when it comes out, not them making a profit? So
exactly.
The point of this particular thread, though, came back to the ever popular notion of, hey, I'm mostly happy with the pricing that Zen has been doing. It seems fair and everything, and I agree. I think that Zen has found a really perfect sweet spot
with the pricing. Yeah.
And you got to understand, like, why Zen doesn't sell their tables individually anymore and they only sell them in packs is what allows them to sell them for the price they do. It's kind of like, Disney, when they go to the cable company goes, "We just want ESPN." And Disney goes, "Yeah, but we've got these 9 other channels also." And they go, "Yeah, but our consumer wants maybe the Disney Channel and maybe National Geographic, but those other 7, we have no clue what those channels even are, and we don't want them."
Yeah, that's right.
Well, guess who does want them? Disney stockholders, because they want to justify why the heck those other channels exist, right?
Exactly right.
So it's like, yes, ESPN is costing, say, $10 that gets, in carrier rights that gets transferred to you, the customer, and Disney Channel costs another $4. So now you're at $14. Here's the thing: Disney goes, "But we'll let you have all 9 channels for $12."
Oh,
right. And so the cable company, of course, goes, "Well, yeah, sure, that's great." But you, the consumer, go, but no, I don't even want ESPN. I just want Disney Channel for $4. Give it to me for $4. Well, that's the whole point. It's basically they're taking the spikes and the lows and compressing it into
just
normalizing everything, and it's safety in numbers, if you will. And that's kind of what Zen is doing with selling everything in a pack.
because they don't want to like develop a table, for example, like Hurricane. Let's use that as an example. And people go, "Oh, Hurricane, I don't want to buy that one outright. Yuck," or whatever.
Right.
And no one spends any money on it, so they're left holding the can for this thing. Whereas if they bundle it with 2 other pretty good games, it's a no-brainer.
It minimizes
amortizing.
It minimizes
the cost. Yeah. And that's smart business.
Yeah. So that's why they kind of done that, and it's why we're able to have the prices that we are. Now, but then the people go, well, what if I wanted, and the High Five basically said, he goes, look, I'd pay $3 for CSI, but I'd pay $20 for the new Black Knight. I'm like, okay, fine. I understand what you're saying, but let's really look at this as, and here's what I'm going to put it to. So Formslingers has their Pinball Wicked game. It's the only pinball game that they have.
Yes.
It's a good pinball game.
It is.
It looks beautiful. It plays rather fun. The physics are not Zen standard, but they're pretty good all the same. They're what they're what Farsight should have done with the Stern pinball app.
Yes.
Using the Unreal Engine. But anyway, it's $10 for Pinball Wicked.
Yeah.
Now, it
used to be a lot more. It used to be 30. But
no, it was never 30. I think it was 15 at the max. It was never really? 30. No.
I thought it was 20. Well, maybe I'm thinking Aussie prices. Maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, sometimes I forget which country you're in, Jared. Go figure.
Yeah. The Aussie peso. It's a low value.
But so you think, okay, $10. No, that's pretty good. I understand that's independent company putting out one table. $10 seems like a fair enough price. Fine. It's still a little bit much for me. I'd wait for Steam sale at half off and pick it up for $5. But there you go, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so now let me ask you this: what if Formslingers said, "Hey, we've got a pinball platform, kind of like what FX3 is, right? Mm-hmm. We've got 50 tables on this. Ooh, 50 tables, right?
Ooh, shiny.
Right. Oh, it cost $500.
No.
But you were cool paying $10 for one table. 50 tables, that's $500.
Buy it now.
Why are you suddenly balking at this? And this, folks, is not seeing the forest for the trees.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true.
As a one-time purchase, that's fine. But this is not how digital pinball is working out. It's downloadable content constantly.
Yeah, it is.
And
I think in some cases, people at the end of the Pinball Arcade sales cycle, like when they were, losing their license and everything, they were faced with that dilemma of going, hey, tables, it was near what? I think we worked it out to be nearly
$130. Oh, well, no, because people were purchasing the Arcuda pack.
Yes, and that was
$150. Yeah, and basically, I mean, I even faced it when I switched from PlayStation 3 over to Steam at the end of Season 2 of Pinball Arcade. And, I'd made Zen purchases on my PS3, and I had the 2 seasons. And suddenly I come over to Steam, and I'm going, oh, well, I want all these tables on with the PC.
I went, oh, jeez.
Yeah, you look at what the lump sum price is, and you go, okay, so maybe I need to be picky and choosy.
Yeah, that's right. It puts you into a predicament.
Right. So what Farsight kind of did, and I've seen so many similarities between the two, they kind of followed the model that Rock Band did. Except for Rock Band came out with a disc that had, 70, 80 songs on it, that they were charging a full price of $60, so less than $1 a song, basically.
Yeah.
Of which only a third of them you probably even wanted to
want to play,
with. Right? Mm-hmm. You wound up loving a lot of them later. Again, the block pack purchasing aspect of it. because you might start liking something that you didn't think that you would like originally.
That's right.
You know, or that you were ashamed to admit that you liked. So Farsight skipped that and went straight to the DLC part. So what's the DLC part? Well, Rock Band then started coming out with a song, and I can't remember if they were doing it packs every week or if it was every month, but it was packs of songs. It was like anywhere from $2 to $5 a pack for these things.
And you go, sure, I want those songs. Let me just buy those.
Sure, as they come, you're like, oh, sure, whatever. But then you realize one day there's over 5,000 songs that were available for download.
5,000? Is that true?
Yeah, no, I'm not kidding. There were over 5,000 songs available for download, and there were people that had bought every single one of them at full price.
Wow, that's a lot of money.
Dude, that's the most expensive video game ever, right?
It's $10,000 thereabouts.
If not,
far out.
Yeah, no, I mean it's insane. So again, are you still happy about thinking that $10 is worth it? Yeah, and I'll even put it that the reason why Zen is able to keep their prices consistent and why they should is, again, look at Star Wars on the Switch. I guarantee you they had to come up with a new licensing agreement with Star Wars or with Disney to be able to put it onto that console. And I point that out because who ran into an issue but Farsight when they tried to sneak stuff onto the Switch? Nope, that violates your contract. So
that's right.
They had to come up with a new contract. Now, Jared, do you think that the price they originally paid for the Star Wars license is the same that they had to renegotiate for and pay for the Switch?
I'd say it might be
a little bit more.
Yes, maybe a little bit more.
I'm going to say it's going to be a little bit more.
We're talking about more movies. We're talking about more intellectual property has been released since they would have originally negotiated, right?
Absolutely. Plus, the Disney brand is now firmly attached behind it. And Disney believes that their branding alone is worth X dollars. Right. Because it's going to bring you that many more eyeballs. So Zen's point of view is, yeah, it's going to bring us... It basically acts as a loss leader. So Zen might be taking a hit on putting this out, but... And we go back to that video that we mentioned when they were at the Star Wars Celebration of the two girls that hopped onto the pinball cab strictly
for the first time.
Yeah, exactly. For the first time, not pinball people at all, just Star Wars fans. And they were noticing all the cool Star Wars stuff in the pinball, and then they actually took notice of the pinball.
That's right.
And started going, hey, this is kind of cool. Well,
it's franchise first. Franchise first, game later.
Right. But once they have a taste for the game, they're going to go into the e-store and be like, so what other pinball is out there?
Things we got here.
And look what Zen has. They've got a whole host of other pinball tables.
It's like, oh, look, they got Bethesda stuff. Oh, look, they got Portal. I remember playing that. etc.
Right. So like I say, it acts as a loss leader. Now, because the price is exactly the same, psychologically, the person goes, cool.
Oh, shut up and take my money.
Right.
Cool. Yeah, fine. This is fine. It's not like it's that different. It's like maybe a couple of bucks different in some cases. And, going back through Zen's back catalog, you get some pretty tasty bulk deals if you want to go and get the Marvel packs and stuff like that. There's steep discounts applied to those already, even if they're outside of the sale.
Yeah, except for the Marvel tables aren't on the Switch yet. But
oh, true. I'm sure it's going to happen at some point. They're going to get them on there.
But basically what it comes down to is think about movies. When you go to see a movie, it doesn't matter if the movie had a $1 million budget or a $200 million budget. The ticket price you pay is the same.
Is the same, yeah.
When that movie comes out on DVD, it doesn't matter if what the budget was. It doesn't matter if the thing tanked at the box office. The DVD price on release weekend is going to be relatively the same within a
couple of
bucks of other releases, at least upon release. So why is it? Why does that make sense? It's because All
People
the
budget their lives around things like that, right?
well, no, it has nothing to do with. I'm thinking in the business sense. It has to do with
Mm,
how you do negotiations. So you're
mm,
negotiating with directors and actors and producers. You're negotiating wages with unions for what the crews are paid. You're negotiating distribution rights. You're negotiating with the theaters. By making everything the same, all the risk gets put onto the producers, basically,
mm-hmm.
of
Yeah.
what to spend the money on, and none of it gets put onto the audience. The audience then winds up dictating if it's a hit or not because they're going into the movies with the same perception. So let's say
Yeah, that's true.
you went into the last Avengers movie,
Mm,
which cost north of probably $250 million to make, right?
mm,
And the ticket price was $45 a ticket to
right.
help compensate for the licensing fees and the budget of the film, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you go in and you're now thinking, well, guy, for $45, this thing better be spectacular, right?
Better be good, yeah.
Right. Then you go see John Wick, and you only get charged $15 because its budget was only 65 million or so.
Right.
You come out of that,
Going, wow, that's
wow, that was
awesome.
awesome. But when you went and stepped in, was your thought kind of like, well, this obviously isn't going to have as many explosions, and it possibly is not going to be as good
Mm,
because
of the
of
price point.
the price point. It's that whole there's look. Are you kidding me? When God, yeah, I think about like women's handbags that
Mm.
my wife will sometimes show me a picture. She'll be like, "Look at this one. How much do you think this thing's worth?" And I'll be like, "I don't know." And they're like,
$50.
$3,500. I'm like, $3,500?
What? Yeah.
That's just stupid. And then you realize that that thing is being manufactured probably in the exact same factory as its low budget cousin by the exact same people using the exact same kind of materials. The only difference is somebody slapped a higher price tag on it.
Yeah, and because it's got a Prada logo on it. It's
Right.
now,
But because
you know.
it's so obscenely priced, everybody immediately thinks, oh, it's luxury, it must be better, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that would be the same effect with the movies. If they're charging $45, it must be way better than the movie that's I'm only going to have to pay $10 to go see, right?
Yeah.
Not necessarily.
Not
And
necessarily.
because then there's also, plenty of movies that are really good, but the audience just didn't turn out for whatever reason, and so the thing bombs, and everybody goes, "Oh, it must be terrible because nobody went and saw it."
Yeah, or it bombed at the box office. Well,
Right.
yeah.
Then it comes out on cable, people pick it up, all of a sudden it gains this great following, everybody goes, "Well, why the heck? That was a really good movie. Why didn't it do better?"
Is it because nobody went to see it?
Right.
Yeah.
So, but you had that perception when you went to finally go see it, going, "Oh, this probably sucks, but okay, I'm gonna watch
No,
it."
whatever. I got nothing else to do. Yeah, whatever.
Right. So there's this perception. So this is where it comes back to Zen. If they're going to charge the exact same price, whether it's an original table, a licensed original table, a Williams licensed table, a Stern table, a whatever table, if they always are going to price it the exact same, when they go and make these negotiations with the IP holders, every license is being held equal. It's not like that way when they go and approach whatever license company, they're going, well, wait a second, how come you're offering ours for significantly less than you offered theirs? That's not fair. You almost start thinking of that favored nations thing that happened with Christopher Lloyd and Raul Julia on Addams Family, which is why we didn't get Christopher Lloyd
Yeah,
in it.
exactly. Yeah.
Where it was like, there was that, well, no, my star status is of equal or higher value or what. No, if you make everybody the same,
Yeah.
and you leave
It's
it,
like-
then you leave it up to the consumer to determine
right.
what is, if it's going to be a hit or not. So
Exactly. I think you're right.
So that's why I'm saying, let's keep the prices nice and low. Let's let all the Zen tables be priced exactly the same across the board. Let Zen worry about if it financially makes sense or not. And let's keep our pocketbooks going, hey, no, this is the sweet spot. Don't go beyond it, please.
Or, go plus minus 10% either way if you need to.
Right.
But
If they
know.
want, they will find a way to make it work because they'll know that there's an audience for it. And again, There's plenty of instances of business where they use things as a loss leader. They know they're going to sell it for a loss, but they're going to make the profit up elsewhere.
Elsewhere, yeah. And you know, all the Zen licenses and Zen platforms, they are from the very initial design, they are an ecosystem, so they will complement each other.
Yes.
And you know, that is the reason why in this particular case you don't need to worry about variable pricing, because they are essentially just another SKU in the universe of Zen Pinball.
And, you know, 2 years from now, are you suddenly going to say, boy, that Black Knight table is worth the $10 I paid? Or
Well, you may, because you might be playing it every day. But at the same time, you'd be saying the same thing if it was $4.
Right.
You know?
Exactly. So, again, if you really want to throw money, stupid money around, throw it at us. We'll put it to good use.
Yeah. Spend your you know, your $4.99 on your table pack or whatever it is in the US, and then siphon off the rest to us. We'll gladly accept your generosity with your money.
All right, hey Jared, why don't we finish up here in a moment with?
Yeah, it seems like a good place to finish.
No, I'm not done yet. Jumping on me like that, how dare you?
Well, you know, we have been yakking on for like a good hour now.
That's because of your tangents. We're gonna play with a little game.
I don't think so, Tim.
We're gonna play a little game of Would You Rather. But first, we're gonna go hit the normal things that we gotta hit. Like the socials. Hey, did you notice this corner right here? Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Socials. But for those of you listening, that doesn't help. So follow me at Shut Your Traps. Follow Jared at Jared Morgs. Follow the show at BlahCade. And we'll leave it at that. That's enough of those socials. Okay.
You know where we are.
Yeah, well, you know where we are.
Most likely.
Jared, would you rather own 8 restored pre-1975 EMs or 1 modern Stern? Space not being an issue.
Space not being an issue?
Correct. Not being an issue.
Because you said EMs, 1 modern Stern, please.
that was my response. I was like, I don't care if you have 20 EMs. They all eventually feel the same.
And they will all die.
Yeah. Okay. Jared, would you rather have Zen get the Gottlieb license but only produce Premier or the Premier tables, because those are the ones that had DMDs, or Magic Pixel gets it and only makes EM and early solid-state tables of Gottlieb?
Or give it to Magic Pixel.
I agree. Give it to Magic Pixel. I think they would do well, partly because I hate the Premier tables, but also I think Magic Pixel would knock the hell out of some EM and early solid-state Gottliebs. Okay, this one's a little bit different here for you, Jared. A little hypothetical. Would you rather live in a world where Williams didn't give up on pinball, but only made Pinball 2000 tables, or Stern doing what they did only to go belly up like they almost did?
Oh, I think I would like Stern to live and Belly to die. That's a big call to make, but
but what I'm saying is Stern would go belly up, because they almost did in like 2005 or something like that. And so in this case, it's Stern actually would shutter. They'd close down, right?
And Williams would continue to remain.
Except for here's where the twist is. No, because Williams would have gone belly up too, because Pinball 2000 sucks.
Yeah. So yeah, that's true. That's a trick question, that one.
Yeah, that was a trick question. Okay, would you rather own Austin Powers or Transformers, 2 of Stern's worst applications of toys?
Oh, give me Transformers every day. I don't want to hear Mike Myers spurting out his bollocks to me every second call out.
Yeah, I honestly find the Austin tables.
I actually played Transformers the other day at Netherworld. It's not bad. I'll go out on a limb and say put it this way, I'd much rather play it than stupid Austin Powers.
Austin Powers is just plain annoying. It is an annoying pinball machine. Okay.
Yeah.
Would you rather see Zen do Indiana Jones but not be able to do any other licensed table, or see them do the Stern version along with any other licensed any other licensed table that they do will have already been done in TPA?
Oh, I don't think I'd like to sacrifice the entire collection for just one table. I think I'll go with the Stern Indie as much as a. It'll just be a trophy. It'll be a trophy cabinet piece because I won't play it probably. But
Right.
you know, yeah.
Okay.
Option two, please.
Okay, I agree. Option two. Would you rather we rewatch the Lord of the Rings trilogy for 9 hours straight, or play Lord of the Rings pinball for 9 hours straight?
I think I'd rather watch the trilogy, thanks.
I'm gonna go with watching the trilogy too. I think my arms would fall off.
Now that's an army.
Okay, would you rather play a perfectly restored table you hate, or a beat to hell table you love?
Oh, you need to put some parameters around beat to hell. Like the flippers work and everything in mechanical works, but the playfield's just trashed.
Yes, I'm going. Yeah, it's not your like you don't have a dead flipper.
All right, yeah.
But
okay.
maybe the flippers, sometimes are a little underpowered. Like it's
Oh.
spotty.
So if you're saying, would you like to play a perfectly restored Popeye Saves the Earth or an absolute like player's condition
Worse,
Indiana
slightly
Jones?
worse. Like, but it's very dirty, and sometimes the ball just gets stuck because of gunk.
Oh, that's a really tough call. I'm all about gameplay experience, so I'll probably have to play Popeye Saves the Earth.
I kind of agree because I'm going to get too frustrated over the missed
Yeah, I'm gonna hate
potential
the
of the
game.
other. Yeah, yeah.
At least it'll be working well. It'll be a crappy game working well, and who knows, I might grow to like it. You know?
Okay. Would you rather have Zen acquire the Data East license and be able to make Batman, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Simpsons, and RoboCop, or acquire the IP license to each and make original versions?
Oh, yeah, originals, because there's nothing really outstanding about those old Data East, like early tables. They're all very formulaic, and they were basically, in the day, my operator friend who I used to work for when I was 15 said, "Oh, yeah, that's a classic Data East. 2 poppers, a spinner, and a ramp. That's literally it." And
Yeah,
yeah, get the license, do something amazing with them.
because I know that they would do something amazing. Okay, would you rather live a 5-minute walk from a place with 2 brand new machines, like just released machines, or a 30-minute drive to a place with 10 classics?
Well, that's my scenario right now. So yeah, give me Netherworld, thanks.
So you'd rather drive for the 10 classics than be able to just walk 5 minutes and play 2 brand new?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. I think I'm kind of on the I'd rather be able to walk the 5 minutes. But that just might be me. I don't know. I don't have the option, so it's hard for me to say.
Well, I'm living the option. So, I think there is actually a place in North Lakes. It's one of those brew your own beer places that actually has a couple of machines that have sited there. And I've been trying to work out where it is and go and check them out. But I don't actually know where this place is because it's not on Pinfinder or anything like that. No one's actually listed them there. So I almost need to go to all the brewing places, of which there are a few in North Lakes, and do some poking around.
Yeah, because I think that if I had a place where, like right now, if they had Willy Wonka and Black Knight, and then, a month from now, or a month prior, they had Munsters and Iron Maiden, I think I'd actually prefer that than driving to the place that's 30 minutes away that always has the same 10 classic tables that I've played to death.
That's a bit of a different scenario. Like, you didn't say anything about cycling tables in. So yeah, okay. Option one in that case, if there's a constantly moving cycle of just like 2 games with that which are like brand new, they're there for 3 months and they're cycled out with other new games. Yeah, shut up and take my money. 5 minutes, thanks. Yeah.
Okay, last one, and this one's not kind. Would you rather see a pinball machine get put through a wood chipper, or see your favorite car put into a car crusher?
Sorry, say again.
Would you rather see a pinball machine get put through a wood chipper, or see your favorite car, mine is like one of those 64 Cobras, get put through a car crusher?
Oh, shred that pinball machine. number one, value alone, it's they are it's a lot less. Chip it.
Yeah, I think I'd go for the chip too, because man, whenever I watch a movie that I see one of those cars destroyed, it breaks my heart. Although I've seen a couple of movies where there's like a fight scene and somebody like smashes into the pinball machine, and my immediate thought is, so I wonder what happened to that pinball machine afterwards. Did anybody, did it get put into the dumpster? Or did somebody go, oh, yeah, I'll take that?
Yeah, it's fine. We'll just buff that out. Yeah.
You're right. So, all right. So with that, we're gonna call it a day. Yeah, this is great. We actually got it working for once after all
Yeah.
this time.
Yeah.
Apparently, there's still a few issues. A little audio delay happening on Jared with his voice not matching his lips.
Yeah. Jan Peter in the chat was saying something about that. We'll have to check it out. But I think
there's
and
nothing
look,
that
at
we
least
can
we're
do
able,
about it.
I think it's just one of those things. Yeah.
Hey, at least it's better than the static image of Jared the last time we did it, where he was just like
Going like this. Let me redo that
Okay,
image from
yeah,
last
do it,
week
do it,
for
do it,
people
do
who missed it. There you go. Yeah, that was me all episode last week.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, folks, again, we appreciate you listening. Make sure you go ahead and poke the little like thing, because that does wonders for us. And most importantly, would be actually subscribe to the channel, because that does wonders for us also. All right. Until next week, we will see you all again. Bye-bye.
See ya.